I gave my mother-in-law the wrong hospital and she missed the birth. So my husband and I found out we were having our first baby back in the spring. And from the second we announced it, his mom made it her whole personality. Which fine, first grandbaby, I get it. But it went past excited pretty fast. She started calling herself the second mom and telling people at her church that she'd be in the room helping. I never agreed to that. Nobody agreed to that. When I said I wanted just my husband and my own mom in the delivery room, she cried and told him I was cutting her out of the most important moment of her life. Her life, not mine. It got worse the closer we got. She'd text me these long paragraphs about how she'd already raised 3 kids so she knew what my body needed better than I did. She showed up at our house one Sunday with a hospital bag she'd packed for herself. She had a robe in there and slippers and a little book of, like, affirmations she was planning to read out loud while I pushed. I'm not making that up. The last straw was maybe 3 weeks before my due date. We were all at dinner and she goes, "Now I've spoken to the nurses station and I told them I'm the grandmother, so they know to let me back regardless of what the parents say." And she said it so casual, like she was telling me the weather. I asked what she meant by regardless of what the parents say, and she just smiled and said, "You'll thank me later, sweetheart." I looked at my husband. He said nothing. He did the thing he always does where he stares at his plate and lets his mom steamroll everybody, because it's easier. So I decided I'd handle it myself. Here's the thing about our city. There are 2 hospitals with almost the same name. There's the big one downtown where I was actually delivering, and there's a smaller one out by the highway with basically the same name but West on the end. Same logo. Easy mistake. Or, you know, an easy mistake to arrange. So a couple weeks out, she starts hounding me for details. When am I being induced? What floor? What room? And I told her real sweet, "We're going to the one out west. The labor and delivery there is so much nicer." She wrote it down. She actually wrote it down in a little notebook. I watched her do it. My water broke on a Tuesday around 6 p.m. We went to the real hospital, the downtown one. My mom met us there. I turned my phone to do not disturb and I told my husband, "If you tell her which one, I will never forgive you." And for once in his life, he listened. He was scared, honestly. I'd never seen him quiet like that. My daughter was born at 4:12 a.m., 7 pounds, 1 ounce. And I mean, it was the most peaceful room you could imagine. Just me, my husband, my mom, and this brand new tiny person. No affirmations, no robe, no one narrating. Now, while all this is happening, my mother-in-law is apparently sitting in the wrong hospital's waiting room. She got there around midnight after my husband texted her a very vague heading in and nothing else. She marched up to the desk at the West Hospital and announced she was the grandmother and demanded to be taken to my room. And of course they had no record of me, because I wasn't there. She thought they were lying to her. She caused such a scene that security got involved. She sat in that lobby until almost 6 in the morning, calling both our phones, which were off, absolutely convinced we were hiding something from her. We finally called her back around 9 a.m. once we were settled. She answers screaming, "Where are you? I've been here all night. They said you're not even a patient." And my husband, God bless him, he found something that night because he goes, real calm, "Mom, we're at the downtown one. The baby's here. She's healthy." Silence. Then, "You gave me the wrong hospital." And I leaned over toward the phone and I said, "Regardless of what the parents say, right?" She hung up. She's been telling the whole family I'm a monster who stole her moment. My husband told her that if she'd ever respected a single boundary in 15 years, she'd have been in the right building. She's met the baby exactly once, for 20 minutes, supervised, and she still has that hospital bag packed by her front door.